So last week, as we all know, after Donald Trump paused his tariffs, which I have to reiterate, nothing was actually paused. No tariffs were removed. Just some of the tariffs were reduced from 25% to 10%. They're all still in effect. And once the market figured that out after it rallied on Wednesday, stocks immediately plummeted again on Thursday. But after Trump announced the pause, most of conservative media was out there saying, he's brilliant. It's all part of the plan. You guys just doubted him. You're a bunch of morons. We knew he had this under control. But that was only most conservative commentators and conservative voters. It turns out there was actually a healthy portion of the conservative base that hated this. And according to their posts on social media, which are not difficult to find, they're getting pissed off. And they're starting to realize Trump doesn't know what he's doing. In other words, the emperor has no clothes. Let me read you some of these responses from social media, from conservatives, about Donald Trump's on-again, off-again tariffs. One of them said, "So much for giving Trump's brilliant tariffs time to work out. All part of the plan, I am assured." Another one said, "That which Trump arbitrarily revokes, he can arbitrarily invoke tomorrow." Which, of course, is true, because then he took some tariffs off of certain goods from China. Then literally 2 days later, after everybody talked about him caving, he said, no, we're not doing that now. So who knows what the hell this guy is doing. Another one said, this is all so stupid. Another said, Trump's loyalists kept telling us, no pain, no gain. Now the whole thing looks more like a guy who buys a Bowflex, uses it once, and then spends the next 6 months draping laundry over it. Another said, market's obviously happy about this, but the problem is not solved until Congress takes away the old man's car keys. Another said, now would be a good time for Congress to take its tariff power back. Another said, I just don't get doing this when there was the 1,000 times better option of not doing this. And a bunch of other people calling for Congress, do your job, get the tariff power back, get it away from Trump. But the point is, more and more conservatives are losing faith in this man. They're starting to realize what most of us already knew, according to the polling data, which is he doesn't know what he's doing, but more importantly, why he's doing it. Because those are two very different things. Anybody can do something, right? I can do that. I can do this. I can go, blah, blah, blah. Great, I did things. That's Trump putting the tariffs on. The question is, why did I do those things? That made no sense. I didn't need to throw that paper or wave this around or do the crazy thing with my hands. That made no sense. It served no purpose. And that's where these people, along with most of the rest of the public, are at with Donald Trump's actions. They don't know why he's doing these things because he doesn't know why he's doing these things. And the more this continues, the more conservatives will wake up and realize this guy is destroying everything just for the hell of it.